this is Calvin. I guess this is just a Happy New Year video for any viewers that I may have out there. I think there's a couple, but it doesn't really matter, because I don't know who you are anyway. I don't know who I am. Yeah, so what's the point? Oh, Happy New Year. And I guess just a little about Christmas and parents, and particularly mothers, since my father's long out of the picture, which is great, actually, for me anyway. Well, not great, but one less hassle to deal with. That's pretty much the way that is. So anyway, Christmas was a bittersweet gathering, as it always is. Not bitter, but always tinged with a bit of melancholy. For starters, my aunt kept talking about her heart problems, so that made everybody really upbeat. But aside from the pleasure, the simple pleasure of being with my family, which I do truly enjoy, part of the my mother has always tried, ever since time immemorial, ever since I can remember, ever since dreading going shopping for school clothes in the fall, an event over which I've had numerous meltdowns, and many in the middle of kind of Kmart arguments with my mother, like freaking out, and you know, in spite of crying bloody murder because they tried to make me put a dress on to go to church. Years of begging for sneakers that I wanted, and years of well, for me it was torment, but it wasn't perceived as torment by the people who were tormenting me, namely my parents. That to them it was perceived as grow up and get over it, or they wanted to keep a proper face on the exterior of things, and I was made to suffer. In the meantime, the chastisement is what it was, is like, aren't people going to laugh at you? You know, if you'd only do this, you'd be pretty, blah, 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 is basically what I heard, and I spent years of trying to discount that. And it still runs in the undercurrent of my being somewhere, and can be scratched open at times when the right set of irritants occur. So the Christmas presents were clothes, and in spite of many, many years of this running knowledge, she knows. I mean, she knows, but for some reason or another, and I can't live anybody else's experience, and I can't tell them what to do with their take on things, and I'm totally powerless over other people, and in particularly my mother. She insists still on buying me women's clothing. So she bought me a coat that's contoured in a way that I will never be able to accept, with a furry, frilly hood, a turtleneck, which I can probably live with, because they're kind of ambiguous, and what was the other clothing implements? Oh, a shirt with the buttons on the wrong side, and there was something else, but I forget it now. Anyway, 4 items of clothing, that's a significant amount of money. And I can't believe that she's still clinging to the hope that somehow if she provides me with these articles of clothing, that I'll wear them and somehow miraculously conform and transform into the person that I was supposed to be all along, namely female, which she can, you know, and she does this. I know my mother for many years now, 52 of them to be exact. She does this quasi-deliberately. She can't help herself. I mean, I'm not angry. She just can't there's something in it that she can't get over. But she knows that at Christmas I'm not going to sit there and go, Mom, why do you buy me this stuff? You know I'm never going to wear it. And the part that's really irritating is, I've been out to my brother for a while now. I've been out to a select group of friends for a while now. And I'm working every chance I get to be more and more out. And so far I haven't had any negative experiences with that, but she's the big stumbling block. And it's not because... it's because she does this. She thinks it's some kind of pain. She takes it upon herself in some weird way that I truly cannot understand what she's still clinging to. She's known me for a very long time. This is the way it's always been. That she tries to bubble it to a head for some reason or another. So, she can't let go of that message, and that message actually is the one that's always, from her perspective, I think, been well intended, and the one that she wanted to send out as a mother because she was trying to save me from some form of suffering or agony, as like mothers do. But really what it does, and I don't think she perceives this aspect of it, what it does is it stokes that up again, because this is what they did to me all as a child, with this something that they told themselves was well intended, and truly was, but was just very, very hurtful to me, and in fact made things 50, 100 times worse. So when she does this now, it pisses me off, and it stokes that up, and there's a lot of probably resentment about that, because the people that you're looking to be loved and accepted from as you're growing are trying to stuff this other message down your throat. Just shut up and be a good little girl and put on your patent leather shoes and keep your legs together and do what we tell you. Why don't you want to be a cheerleader? Why don't you wear makeup? Blah, 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 blah. They just don't get it. And so that part of me has never healed either. And now I see, unfortunately and fortunately, the time has arisen to put that behind me. And the way to put that behind me is the most difficult way of all. It involves going and talking to Mother. Because, in that moment I felt like, what, I cannot, it's not right for me any longer to allow her to labor under this delusion that she has, that somehow I'm female, that somehow I'm effeminate. Because as long as I allow her to do that, I allow her to live in a misunderstanding, and I don't, I just realized sitting there at Christmas that I don't feel comfortable with that anymore. And it's a very difficult subject to broach, even at my age, even with the many decades of experience that I have at dealing with my mother. There are certain aspects that fall right back into the old relational patterns that never progressed because of her and because of me. So at the very least, I can address my end of it. And I don't know how that's going to be and how that's going to go. It'll probably just come out impromptu, but I really need to go visit her soon in this new year and tell her, Mom, do not spend any more clothing money on me. You're wasting your time. And I'll have to try to say it in a loving way, because I tend to be kind of blunt and to the point, which is a virtue in my estimation, but not always well received by others. They need a little honey. Yeah, so that's how Christmas was. So consequently, I was overcome with an air of indifference about Christmas, because that's the air of indifference that I've had to adopt over all these years at every childhood birthday party, at every Christmas, at Easter. Oh my God, I hated Easter so bad, man. freaking Easter, sticking this damn bonnet on me and making me go to, how you take a perfect holiday filled with chocolate and ruin it. You make your kid go to dress it up in an Easter bonnet. Oh my God, I cried streams and streams of tears. They practically had to beat me to make me put that stuff on, and the only time I did is when I was beaten down to the last nub of resistance was beaten out of me because they simply would not relent, and and I went through a lot of torture about that, but when I talked to her, that I can't allow that to come through because it wouldn't be productive. And I really don't know how it's going to come out because every time I go to her house now, she's always listening to the radio, and what's on the radio is Rush Limbaugh. And if that's not on, then it's whatever. I guess it's Fox News Network, the right-wing news. Is constantly on, and she's espousing things that sound like neo-Nazi to me in a weird way, and bigoted. And I always thought my dad was the bigot, but she's, espousing some pretty conservative views that in no way, shape, or form mesh with mine. And they're on there talking about, Defensive Marriage Act and blah 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 blah. And I'm afraid that you never know which straw is going to break the camel's back. And she's been in my corner for a long time through a long addiction where most people would have given up and just let me die in some disheveled corner, which is what should have happened many times over, and for some reason didn't, and I'm sure she perceives as putting up with what my difference as something that she's had to tolerate for all these years. Hence, she's still trying to address that by giving me girly girl coats at Christmas. I'm 52, and she has not given up, and it's because I've allowed it. Out of my fear, I allowed it, and I can't allow that anymore. I'm not sure how I'll step up to this occasion, or if I will, since I've been so cowardly about all the other ones, and prefer to hang out in some tenuous zone where, I can just overlook everything and, write myself off as special because I'm the alienated, freaky, starving artist. Not cutting it anymore, not cutting it as if I want to be truly self-actualized, and not allow myself to be defined by default or defined by the weird strictures that our society carries around for some stupid reason. Or the fear and ignorance or lack of acceptance of others. So, as I was telling somebody last night again, self-acceptance, it's a long, hard road, and it's deep, very deep. And it came to me a while back, that's why they put the self in self-acceptance. Because it has to come from the self, not their self, not that self, myself. So, anyway, I'm excited because I have an art show on Friday. Yay. We'll see what happens. Maybe I can find a moneyed patron who wants to buy all my art. That'd be cool. But nevertheless, I'm going to seize that as an opportunity to hang out and talk with people and be me in some other place. So, Happy New Year in Transland. 2013 to everybody. Peace out.